In this video, I'm going to cover how to update your plugins to 5.4, whether this be your own plugins, marketplace, whatever. First thing we want to do is open up 5.4, you go to games, and we're just going to create a blank project. Doesn't have to be anything special. The only thing we want to ensure is that we selected C++ as the project. That's just going to make it overall easier. So at that point, I'm just going to call it update 5.4. We want to go ahead and create our project. Alrighty, once that's done and Unreal is done with its billion shaders, we can continue. So pretty much what we're going to do is in our project, we're going to create a new folder called plugins, like so. And inside of that, we want to put the plugin that we actually want to upgrade into it. So I want to be using electronic nodes because that's a pretty common one and I like it and I want to use it for 5.4. So I'm going to go ahead and install it to 5.3 and then grab it. All right, so inside the 5.3 engine project, and again, this can probably be previous versions, but the later the better. We're gonna go to Engine, Plugins, scroll down to Marketplace, and we'll find the plugin here. So we're gonna copy that and paste it in our plugins folder. Next up, we can go ahead and open up the uplugin file, and you will see it has a line engine version 5.3. You can either completely remove this or just use it as 5.4. So we'll go ahead and save. Close down our project, and we want to go ahead and regenerate. So we're going to right click. Well, better yet, it probably wouldn't be the worst idea to go ahead and delete the binaries and intermediates from the plugin itself, then regenerate. Okay, once that's done, if we go back in, you'll see a intermediate folder has been created. This is all the files that the Unreal header tool generates to go ahead forth with compiling. So now that that's done, come back in our IDE, we'll let that go ahead and process an update, and you will see the plugin now underneath the plugins folder here. So we're going to right click on our project and go ahead and build. Alrighty, after that's done, in this specific case, there is a error. So basically we need to resolve this error to continue. And this is where just general knowledge and experience will come into play, but it's really not too bad. So for example, I know that this is a linking error. Duh. And that's usually kind of indicates that something might not be included where it actually needs to be. So for example, we can see what's trying to be used here is the isSubstrate_enabled function. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy isSubstrate_enabled, and I'm going to figure out where that kind of comes from. So you can either Google this or do this directly in the engine. Since 5.4 is new, I don't know if this is something new or not, but you can just go to UE5, paste it in the find, and you will see right here. So we can grab really any result we want, and we want to control click to go to it. So here's that function under the substrate namespace. We can see it's in render utilities, and I can't move my mouse down there to see, but all right, cool. I guess it just moved me somewhere else. There we go. So we can see it's under engine, source, runtime, render core. So what we want to do is we want to include the render core. So we'll come down here to the plugin, electronic nodes, source, and we'll find its build.cs. Clicking here, we want to go down and find where he does all its dependencies. So in this case, it's in the private dependency module names. We're going to add that render core. So render core, like so. Save it and compile again. And you will see now that it is good to go, we can go ahead and launch. All right, once it's launched, the plugin should already be disabled. So we go to installed. We can see the electronic nodes is enabled. We'll give that a quick try. We'll just make a random anything just to make sure that it's actually working as expected. So we'll just call, well, actually, yeah, we can see it from the line there. I guess spawn actor. Yep. So we have our setup. So now we want to move this back to our 5.4 engine to make this so we don't have to do it in each project. So I'm going to go ahead and close down the editor. Come back to plugins. I'm going to Control X to cut and go to my 5.4 engine. Here in 5.4, we're going to go to engine, plugins, and look for a marketplace folder, which in this case it does not have because we haven't installed anything to it, at least in my specific case anyways. So we're going to create a new folder, call it marketplace, and just put it in like so. The only thing we want to confirm is make sure the U plugin does have 5.4 or potentially nothing. I haven't tried using a plugin without an engine version inside of an engine, only in a specific project. So if you have an error and you don't have any engine version here, try just setting the engine version to 5.4 and seeing what happens. So back on that, that is no longer going to be part of our project. So we want to go ahead and we can remove our plugins folder. I'm going to go ahead and just delete the binaries and intermediates. Regenerate. Oops. And let that do its thing. It's going to process for a second or so. But either way, we can go ahead and hit build, and it should do kind of everything together. Now, the only reason I'm building this project right now is because I don't have another 5.4 project at the moment, just this one. So I'm doing that so I can go ahead and launch this project just to show you it working. That's really it. So in this case, you would, instead of building, which is taking forever for some reason, you would go back and just launch whatever project you have on 5.4 that you're trying to use. And yeah, see you in a second or a couple minutes. It's really taking forever. All right, it's finally done. So I'm just going to go ahead and launch it. All right, and we'll go back to plugins, and it is still enabled. So that's good. Otherwise, you would re-enable it. But let's confirm. So we'll create a new blueprint class. And we can see that it is working. So yeah, that's pretty much the step you'd go through for your plugins. Some won't have any issues. They'll be just fine. Others might have a bunch of stuff that breaks. It's kind of up to you to fix or wait. So for certain things like this, where it's very easy to fix, it's worth going ahead and just doing, or at least creating a list of what is broken and what is not. So yeah. Anyways, that's going to be all for this video.